Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kale, your astrologer, and welcome to another brand new week in the cosmos and here on Earth. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, a huge thank you to everybody who's been signing up for the channel. I'm so grateful. And to everyone who's been here and listening, I'm so grateful for you as well. And anyone who's new, I hope you stick around and sign up, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me a lot and helps me get the word out. So I appreciate you being here. With that, let's dive into this week. We're looking into the astrology for the week beginning 27th of August all the way to the 2nd of September. We're moving now from the last quarter of the moon to the new moon in Virgo, which takes place on the 2nd of September. And this is an intense, powerful week. A lot is shifting, and there are deep-rooted changes taking place. So there's a need for detachment and to allow space for this transformation that's underway. Also, it's a good time to really just clear out your life and simplify your life on all levels. Emotionally, in terms of decluttering your space, clearing out baggage, old hurts, pain, resentment, anything that's weighing down your progress now, because we're in the waning cycle of the moon. And this week we're moving through the deep waning phase of the moon. And just before the new moon, which takes place on the 2nd of September, Uranus stations retrograde and Pluto will change signs from Aquarius back into Capricorn for the final time in our lifetimes for a brief period between the 2nd of September to about the 19th of November. So this is the last Pluto and Capricorn transit that we'll ever experience. And it's just a chance to wrap up unfinished business. But now as we move to that new moon, and with Pluto changing signs and Uranus changing direction just a day before the new moon, there are unpredictable changes, sudden changes, and deep-rooted changes taking place. So there's just a need to remain grounded. Aspects are shaking the tree of our life, and anything that's not rooted in reality is going to fall away. But this is nothing to be afraid of, because anything that falls away is clearing the space for new growth, in essence. And we're pruning back so we can foster healthier growth. So hang loose, remain detached, but stay grounded and trust what's unfolding now is part of your greater journey of transformation and self-realization. So with that, I'm going to dive into the week and take the aspects day by day. And let's just see how this plays out. And of course, if you are interested in more personal insight, please do contact me for a personal reading. Nothing replaces an astrology consultation looking at your chart. And I'm going to leave a link below for first-time consultations with a special discount. So do reach out and we'll take a deep dive into your chart and look at what's coming up for you and the challenges and opportunities and how you can make the most of them. And I would love to work with you. So with that, let's dive into the week. On the 26th of August, which I've covered in my last forecast, but you may want to listen to that again, we're at the last quarter phase of the moon. And this is the halfway point between the full moon that took place in Aquarius on the 19th of August and the new moon that's coming up on the 2nd of September in Virgo. The last quarter specifically is the halfway point between the full moon and the new moon and occurs in the waning phase of the moon. So a chance to really check in with ourselves and make any necessary adjustments. Now we are in Virgo season. The sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Gemini. Gemini is a sign that represents choices. And Virgo is the sign that represents daily processes, our daily habits, daily routines, as well as health on all levels of mind, body, and spirit. So as you move through the 26th, 27th, aside from other aspects, make sure you're taking a chance to check in with yourself and making any necessary adjustments in terms of look at the habits and routines that you're following. And look at where maybe you need to make adjustments, what you need to let go of, so life can start to work better for you. Acknowledge what is and isn't working. This is all about us making conscious choices, and given that we're in this last quarter phase, it's a time of release. So even in terms of emotional baggage and any, mental pains or hurts that you're holding on to, this is a chance to forgive and let go and release, because we're moving from the Aquarius full moon to the Virgo new moon. Aquarius speaks of space and detachment, while Virgo speaks of healing and growth. So that, and we're in this waning cycles, which means we're letting go, we're pruning back and weeding out what's overgrown and what's not constructive and holds back our progress. Even self-limiting beliefs of why something is not possible. Because if anything, the last full moon has shown us that a dream is very much within reach. What matters is our commitment to it. And which means with the sun in Virgo, there's also going to be a need for daily dedication and devotion and nurturing what's precious to us, which means we're going to have to let go of, or rather be conscious of how we use our time, energy, money, resources, and where we invest it. Consciously release the past, let go of looking at flaws and imperfections or seeking perfection even. We're now retraining our minds in a sense to stay in the present and to look at what's precious in a situation, to seek the beauty in life, to look for solutions and make constructive choices moving ahead. The past is gone. This is the school of life. What matters is that we're learning from our experiences and growing into better versions of ourselves. And there's always room for growth and improvement, personally and in our lives. So as you enter the week, definitely look at what needs to be released now as you move to this renewal at the end of the week. On the 27th, Venus trines Uranus, and the moon continues to move through Gemini this last quarter. With Venus trine Uranus, there are unexpected developments taking place, sweet surprises in store as well. Financially, in our relationships, there could be creative ideas that you're coming up with that could be very lucrative and have real potential. There's a need to step out of our comfort zone and think outside the box, so to speak, and to remain detached from outcomes. Even if something is not going according to your initial plan, have faith what's happening is liberating you and could work out more perfectly than even you imagined. It's a matter of being creative now, innovative, and working with what you have. And you can make real progress today. And of course, the more you let go of expectations, the more pleasantly we can be surprised with what unfolds. So there is a lot going on the 27th, and we're going to have to think on our feet. But be open-hearted, be open-minded, and you can really be happy with what unfolds on the 27th. On the 28th, there are all major aspects taking place. Venus opposes Neptune at 4:24 p.m. and then Mercury is stationary on the 28th and 27th, 26th, and will station direct on the 28th of August at 5:14 p.m. This is significant. So really this whole week Mercury is pretty much stationary, which means we're in what's known as Mercury's storm phase. These are the days when information tends to surface. Mercury is stationing direct in Leo, which is a very creative sign. It's a bold sign. It's fiery, passionate sign. So there are perhaps dramatic truths coming to the surface, and we're coming to important realizations about ourselves. So be honest with yourself above all right now, and be in absolutely no denial, because just before Mercury stations direct, Venus will oppose Neptune. Before Mercury's direct station, there may be a sense of a fog. We're reflecting on our finances and creative matters and certainly our relationships. Seek clarity, seek depth at this time, and consciously move past your own illusions and assumptions and perceptions of situations, or even projections, your fantasies as well as your worst fears. Withdraw all projections and make time to just reflect and seek that clarity. And if there isn't clarity, then be patient while clarity returns, because the fog will clear, and Mercury's direct station soon after this aspect suggests that suddenly there's going to be this kind of a light bulb moment, or where there was a sense of a fog or doubt. Now we're suddenly seeing things in a new light and with new eyes, and hopefully with a clear mind and heart. So think of this as being, our hearts are being washed clean in a sense. And it's important that we're staying true to our values and our soul values and the unconditional love we feel. if at all you're experiencing any sense of lack, whether it's financially, emotionally, materially, in terms of support, even if it feels like we're staring into the big great void, this is the void of infinite creation out of which everything is born. Trust the love you feel in your heart, and trust that the help that you need is coming to you. It's just a matter of having faith in that and leaving space now for magic and for developments to come out of the blue without really holding on to expectations of where something comes from, but trusting that the universe has your back and knows your heart and is listening. It just may mean us speaking up and having the courage to speak up and ask for help, or at least put it out into the universe and what you need. So just be patient on the 28th, and by the 29th, we'll have a lot better idea of where things stand and the support that is present in our life, because Venus will enter Libra, which is our home sign, on the 29th. So relationships, finances, creative matters are all finding a sense of balance, especially where there's been a sense of tension or that we've been hanging by our last thread. Suddenly there's a sense of restoring harmony and balance. But first, on the 28th, as Mercury stations direct, over the coming days and weeks, slowly communication can start to move forward. There are important truths surfacing. Keep your ego out of it and just keep an open heart as you communicate whatever it is you have to say. And keep an open heart when you listen to what someone is saying. There's a need to drop the mask and our pride and ego and defenses and be vulnerable in our communication and be open to heart communication. Then there can be real deep healing and a real sense of deepening bonds with others who are our equals and who see our hearts and who are aligned with our values, and where there's a mutual sense of appreciation and love. Because then 29th, as I mentioned, Venus enters Libra, and then Venus will be in Libra until the 22nd of September when she enters Scorpio. So with Venus in Libra and now Mercury newly direct, there are important truths coming to light in our relationships, financial matters. We're having important conversations, allowing us to restore a sense of balance and honesty and fairness and harmony in our connections. This is also a very creative time and an ideal time to make progress on any creative projects that you have pending. This is also a great time to balance your budget. With the sun in Virgo, we're really seeing how we can work something out that's gotten out of balance or clean up any messes. Even on a physical sense, it's a great time to organize your living space and workspace and just beautify your life and surroundings and environment. This is also a deeply healing period for our hearts, for our relationships, for us to find creative solutions to whatever situation we face. And if you're not sure of how to move ahead from here, a lot is shifting very soon, and there are unexpected developments coming out of the blue here. So just take things a day at a time right now and work through a process of elimination, perhaps. Weed out what's not working. Then once the new moon begins, we'll be ready to enter a whole new cycle. And the aspects are certainly rearranging the landscape of our lives, bringing major shifts. So for now, slow and steady is the way to go. And there's more information surfacing daily over the coming days, showing you a way forward, perhaps bringing breakthroughs and openings where previously you couldn't see a way forward. Because immediately after Venus enters Libra, she will trine Pluto, and Pluto is about to change signs from Aquarius to Capricorn. So relationships are evolving powerfully, so are financial matters. And there's a real sense of lightening, being able to lighten our loads and to release the past and to release what's dead and gone, to lighten our hearts and invite in a fresh flow of energy. So in all respects, remain detached, allow for transformation within yourself and within others and life around you, and trust a natural process of evolution. And the moon is moving through Cancer on the 29th, so we're certainly feeling emotional and feeling possibly a whole range of emotions. Just release your emotions consciously and flow with this energy, because things are stabilizing and there is a fresh breeze and flow of energy that's moving through our lives if we can allow it, which means clearing out the past so we can welcome in the future, create space for the future. Because on the 30th of August, the moon will sextile, Cancer moon will sextile Uranus and then trine Neptune before it enters Leo at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Immediately after that, it will oppose Pluto and then sextile Venus in the afternoon. So on the 30th of August, there are no major aspects between the planets, but the moon is making a series of aspects, which means emotionally we're processing a lot. In the first half of the day, the moon is moving through Cancer, so this is watery, emotional energy. We're giving shape to our dreams. Life is pushing our boundaries, drawing us out of our comfort zone. But trust in a natural flow of life now, and dare to reach for your dreams because they're very much within reach. Once the moon enters Leo, the energy shifts and it's more passionate, and there's a need for courage, spontaneity, to be vulnerable and to drop the mask. Now we're entering the deep waning phase of the moon, and there's no room for pretenses because there are such major changes unfolding that unless we show up authentically, we're the ones who are going to be the losers here. So it's just not going to be sustainable to continue situations in the way they have been. And change is here now. So it's like either we make the changes or changes will be made for us. Because that's Pluto for you. And with the moon moving through Leo as it opposes Pluto, it's like these changes are really coming home. The penny is dropping and we're seeing what undeniably needs to shift in our lives so we can welcome in the future or step into the future and embrace it wholeheartedly. So once again, especially pay attention to what's coming up on the 28th and be in no denial, because as Mercury stations direct, there are truths coming to the surface from within us as well as in our connections. And the more honest we can be with ourselves, we can share our truths compassionately while listening to others with an open heart and open mind, and find mutual solutions forward, because there's definitely room here for growth and cooperation, and to leave the past behind so we can step into new dynamics where there is greater love and support and harmony and cooperation. So on the 30th, the moon is moving through Cancer and Leo. We're releasing powerful emotions as well as reconnecting with our hearts on a very deep and passionate and powerful level. Acknowledge your desires, consciously nurture what's precious and golden and what's budding and blossoming in spite of the past that's now gone. So it's a matter of redirecting focus. On the 31st of August, there are no aspects. The moon is making no aspects, and there are no aspects between planets, which is rare. And consider this a day when we just get to really be without anything tugging on our energy. So it's a great time to just really get grounded within yourself and, look at what you're letting go of as you end this cycle and move towards a new one. There are major shifts unfolding, and there's a quiet, smoldering intensity in the air. So although there's nothing going on, it's like, things are shifting underground and the tectonic plates of our life are shifting. So there could be like a deep sense of rumblings of change that are happening underground right now. So just move slowly and remain grounded in what's real, what's valuable, what matters to you, and remain detached, because things are shifting very powerfully. As we get to the 1st of September, the moon will sextile Jupiter in the morning, actually overnight, and then conjunct Mercury at 8:37 a.m. And then Uranus stations retrograde at 11:18 a.m. and Pluto enters Capricorn at 6:22 p.m. Then the moon sextiles Mars and finally enters Virgo, preparing for the new moon on the 2nd at 11:49 p.m. So September 1st is huge. There are major unpredictable, out of the blue changes and shifts that are unfolding, and this is a powerful release. So try not to cling to anything or anyone that's shifting or changing in your life, and have faith in this process, because we're moving to the Virgo new moon, and before the moon enters Virgo, with all these shifts occurring under dramatic Leo moon, it will require courage and it will require vulnerability and having confidence in yourself and staying connected with your heart and being bold and courageous as you step up to whatever life is calling you to do. Again, we are in the deep waning cycle of the moon, so it's time to really release the past and trust that anything that's shifting and shaking now is liberating you and helping you transform and free yourself from a situation that you felt stuck in. Also, Uranus stationed direct at the end of January this year, and Pluto entered Aquarius at the end of January this year. So look back to what was unfolding in your life through January, all through January, because now we're kind of back in that similar transitional territory. And over the past 6-7 months, we've had a glimpse into what the future could potentially hold for us. But this requires that we make few shifts and we let go of old ambitions and old conditioning and old structures and superficial values and commitments that we've outgrown and no longer support us and that are on shaky foundation, because we're not going to be able to sustain it. It's time to weed out what's not working. And you don't need to be afraid of losing anything or anyone that's important to you or that's part of your future. Of course, there's a need for sensitivity and to be careful and that you're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But at the same time, we're pruning back to foster new growth and trust that anything that's right for you will evolve with you. So this is about now really being honest with yourself about what you're nurturing in your life, what you're building, and staying grounded in that. And then trusting that anything that falls away, will create space for new growth. And we're reclaiming our power and authority in our lives to live our lives by our rules, on our terms. So consider this a huge clearing out, like a clearing in the forest. And if you're tired and exhausted, because we are in the Virgo New Moon heading to the Virgo New Moon on the 2nd of September, make sure you're taking care of your health, your mental health, you get plenty of rest, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Everything seems a lot more manageable after a good night's rest. So take care of your health primarily, and then trust that tomorrow is a new day and we're entering a new cycle. The landscape of our lives is rearranging itself, but this is a chance to really rebuild our lives in alignment with a soul mission and a dream that's birthing within us now, and so that we can live our best lives that brings us a deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning and feeling rewarded at the end of the day, every day. And when it comes to relationships, certainly there's deep healing on offer here. It's just we need to let go of our conditioning of what a relationship should look like or be like and focus on what works. And ask yourself if something, it's about introducing healthier patterns in our connections, which means letting go of unhealthy patterns and cycles. And that change really will come only from inside out. So as we're able to evolve within ourselves, we can foster healthier connections with others, where there's a true sense of teamwork and support and healing and growth rather than stagnation. The new moon takes place at 9:56 p.m. on the 2nd of September. As you move to the new moon, consciously release the past, weed out the past, prune back emotionally, mentally, financially, physically, whatever. It's about getting organized, simplifying our life so we can enter the new cycle with a clean slate and set in motion changes that really truly bring us a sense of making progress. So I can't understate how powerful this new moon is, and the seeds that we plant now could certainly have the potential to grow into something that will sustain us for years to come. So awareness will be needed as we enter the new cycle. Also, this Virgo new moon leads up to the Pisces full moon and lunar eclipse, which is the first lunar eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis in this series of eclipses. and which means that wherever you have Virgo and Pisces in your chart now, this axis in your chart and life is being highlighted, and over the next couple of years we'll have eclipses in this area, which means that your life in these areas is going through a rapid transformation. Virgo, just to recap, is a sign that, it's a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury, so it's a very logical, pragmatic sign, and it speaks of our daily routines and habits and daily processes and systems. So as you enter this new moon, it's also the sign that speaks of the harvest. So as you enter this new moon, pay attention to the seeds you're sowing, because as we sow, so shall we reap. And what we're initiating now will require a daily process of love, dedication, devotion, and hard work. But if we're willing to nurture what's precious to us and nurture a dream, then we can bring it to life. And certainly we are seeing new ways forward, and there's deep healing on offer here. Wherever you have Virgo in your chart, and relating with all matters of that house especially. So I'll have a lot more to say about the Virgo new moon next week. But for now, as you can see, this is a major week. A lot is shifting within us and around us. Move slowly, consciously release the past and clear space. We're moving through the waning cycle of the moon. There's a powerful renewal on the way with the Virgo new moon at the end of the week on September 2nd. And there are unexpected, huge changes and developments taking place, shaking the tree of our life and rearranging life's landscape. So anything that's not rooted and grounded in what's solid and real is falling away, but we've got to trust this process and be grateful, because ultimately it's liberating us to live our best lives in alignment with our greater soul purpose, what we came to this planet for. So take things a day at a time this week. Have faith that the next steps will be revealed to you. But of course, this is a general forecast, and if you want more personal insight into your chart and the opportunities and challenges that are arising for you, please do reach out to me at priya@cosmicdiaries.com for a reading. I would love to work with you. And I'll be back with you again next week with more astrology. But do sign up, and I'm hoping to make more videos this week as well. So do sign up and subscribe to be notified of new videos, and do like the video if you liked it and if you found it useful, because it's really going to help me to build the channel and get the word out. So thank you for listening as always. I'm sending you all my love wherever you are, and I'll be back with you next week. It's Priya signing off from New York. Namaste.